he's on.
You
Okay.
do that?
But if I do this, full screen of him?
Correct.
Okay.
Jason, it's my
So,
Oh, I thought it was just me.
It's in both of our ears.
Oh.
so, so when I do,
Well,
Welcome.
upstairs are being low too at this point, so that's my biggest fear. That's so I was like, okay, what else? You know, we're recording.
To the SYWB podcast, where we try again to have a guest.
I swear, guys, we're good at making friends. Okay,
He still has not answered the cell phones. I sent a message on Instagram as well
it's fine.
because Telegram doesn't make
What's up, kitty
notification
cat?
on mine. So
By the way, on a side note, you can hear my dog walking back and forth. We had a very rough morning.
I still.
yeah, what was that about?
I still think we should have a Britney cam where I'm holding it and I just.
Well, the Britney cam. Oh, I forgot to plug in the cam. Hold on. You know, you guys were saying that. Oh, maybe he went out Saturday night and had a drink, and that's why he overslept or whatever. Even Lando.
Yeah.
That's what I did. And I didn't oversleep. No excuse.
You just cracked.
Yeah,
it.
because I touched it right on the cable. Like I knew.
Yeah,
I
because you
shouldn't.
just crashed out. I saw you. You walked in.
Did you
I was
Go
like,
on.
Fucking loser.
Yeah. For the first time, I got this. It was the most drunk I had gotten in 6 years.
Where did you go?
I have an Airbnb.
Is that a bar?
Airbnb. No one.
No.
What's the other phrase? What's the common? That's the modern day phrase for it.
Did you go to someone's house?
Technically, what is? Am I not thinking the right word? Airbnb. Yeah, Airbnb. It's like you rent a house for a day or a night. It's like a hotel, but Airbnb. You never heard of this?
Wait, you rented a room?
I didn't. They did for the party.
Oh, they did. Oh, so you went to a party then?
Yeah, but it was at a house.
So you went to a house.
I didn't go to a bar, is what he asked.
Yeah, yeah. It's a house party. That's exactly.
In a rented house. Yeah, rented for the
Yeah.
day.
Well, no one cares about the context of that one.
No.
No.
Yeah, did
I
you-
thought it was important.
Did you watch House Party from the 80s recently? Is
No,
that- Okay.
never even heard of it.
Did you see House Party, the 2012 remake of it? No.
Never even heard of it. Should I also send him an email? I don't have his email. Yes, I do. Should I also send him an email?
Dude.
That shit was
easy.
crazy. It
Listen,
was blasting.
You can only stalk him so much, bro.
That's true. I'm
Yeah.
just sending him an email.
Yeah. Just keep an eye on it for a little bit. Like we said before, keep an eye on it, and then we'll get back to it because we can always edit this in post. One thing I did wanted to mention was actually no, I'm sorry. I think we already mentioned this in the last one.
Go ahead.
This is because I think we did mention this. But I'm fine with this new setup that we got going on. I know you mentioned it before in the last stream.
Oh, I
This
love
new
the
setup is
headphones.
amazing. Yes, and thankfully it's got even better because you finally got the cables you were asking for.
No.
And so, oh really?
Yeah, these are not the new ones.
Oh, these are certainly a lot better than the last ones we had.
These are the same exact ones.
What? Well, I don't know what you did, but
I
can-
ordered
I
those
can
ones.
hear
They're way
you.
too short, so I got those for free, but I can't do anything with them.
Oh. Well, I don't know what you did this time though, but because it's working like clockworks now. Amazing.
It's the bars, the arms. We put them back because look, any little tap you can hear. It's
How was that again?
because we're not moving them around.
Tap the bar again. Tap it. No, for the most part. Did you want me to start in a story? Is
Yeah,
there a
good.
certain
I'm going to
topic you
email
want
this
to?
guy. I'm serious.
You got it. All right. So as I mentioned before, I got a little irate. It's not even a beef. It's just I'm getting a little tired about how some of these servers have been treating the restaurant business. We've got one who we've mentioned her before a while ago. She always has I don't want to be here energy, and so yesterday was kind of the worst of it, and I was like. So here's my part. Like whenever I work, I'm either two things. One, I make right jokes and kind of go through the job, or two, I'm just super quiet and kind of just let anything roll over me. Because in the end of the day, it's a job, you know, and our input is not that important, you know. But this one kind of, yeah, she aggravated the fuck out of me. So, for one thing, everybody knows if you're a server, you already know you have a checklist to do. I went the extra mile and went back to my old roots by helping everybody out and kind of starting up all the rest of them. And so we needed to get lemonade done, which is something that we do by hand, which has never been a strong effort for us to do.
What about the fudge?
But
We need to make the fudge too.
the fudge? No, we leave that to the best prep in the world. That man knows how to do everything. What we do, all we have
Where
to
the fudge is
do,
made
all we have to do.
and the lemonade.
Oh my God.
What?
What are you for?
What?
Fudge lemonade. Something that's how poop is made, or I don't know what the it is.
Oh,
You never
Oh,
heard of making
no,
fudge? You never
no.
make fudge in the morning?
No.
After your coffee?
I'm gonna. You're so fucking gross.
I usually make lemonade in the morning, not fudge.
So sorry, my child.
You spill hot tea on her?
No, I spilled a droplet of coffee on her.
Oh, she's gonna make fudge in a minute.
I'm just sorry, my child.
Sorry.
Oh, that woke you up. Okay, maybe you needed to smell coffee in the morning then. Look at her. Now she's spryed. Look at her.
She's like, he just burned me with hot coffee. Now I'm gonna
It's
get up.
cold. It's cold. It is not hot. It was hot like 20 minutes ago.
Hi, pumpkin.
Okay,
All right,
okay.
I took over your story. What were you saying with the fudge?
Okay. No, when it comes to prepping and everything, shut up. Ew. It's the F part that's getting to me because I can hear it in my left ear. It's just, and I'm like, oh.
We got another subscriber, and I'm not sure if it's
Yay.
Jeran or not.
Who?
Jeran. Yeah, he's
Oh,
supposed to be on.
who cares?
I was gonna ask him, but
We'll take all comers.
don't
That's all I
say
know.
don't say comers. That was really good. That's worse than lemonade, honestly.
Yeah, no, it was.
You are betting
I felt
1,000.
embarrassed saying it. I'm not gonna lie.
You are betting 1,000.
Don't worry, we'll get big. We'll get up there. We'll go past 40. I already forgot how many view counts you said. 47?
45.
Oh, 45. We'll
Finish
get
your
past
story, and then
45.
we're gonna go over this in a second.
Yeah. So I was helping everybody out with their side work and stuff, obviously, because it's something I used to do. I just got tired because people were taking advantage of it.
Oh, real quick. If you
And
popped up here,
so-
let me know.
Of course.
Excuse me. And so we kind of ran out of lemonade, and it was her section. So I was like, you know what? Let me just tell her what's up. I never seen someone get so mad at the idea of making lemonade in my life. Someone who was so irate about it too. It's just sitting there, just like,
And this is the girl that we're thinking of,
yes,
who you described earlier as
yes,
voluptuous, I believe.
voluptuous, hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That stays undefeated. But you know, just kidding.
She has a really strange attitude for someone who's supposed to be in service.
I never wanted. So this is my 2 cents on that whole thing. That's what I wanted to bring this whole story about. I know this sounds fucked up, but I've only ever met 2 other people like her, and to this day, it is my strongest belief that they are just a housewife. And I know that sounds rude in every way because
Yeah.
obviously, you know, that the term housewife has kind of had a negative effect in recent years because obviously you have people who have taken advantage of that structure. You have people who just could not follow the structure. Both parties, not just on one person, no, both. And you also just had people who didn't want that kind of life and wanted to kind of become more of an independent lifestyle, which is great in the end. Follow your life. You only have one life, so might as well go after it, you know? But the 2 people who I've met, you know, were the happiest when they finally got married and they just not worked, you know?
Oh,
And
is that what you're
so,
saying?
yeah. And so part of me is like,
That's a weird assumption to make, honestly.
yeah, it is a weird assumption because obviously, you know, when you think of housewife, you just think of, you should probably think of someone who just cleans after someone and do all that. No, that's not what I mean by that. No, it's just simply like, they don't like working, but they don't want to admit that, you know? And I always get that energy with this person because she is great at her job. But the thing is that she's so like, everything about her is like, I want to be done. I want to be done with this conversation. I want to be done with taking your orders. I want to be done with taking your drinks.
Yeah, I wouldn't
And-
say that's housewife, though. I mean, I don't. Maybe
Yeah.
you worked with her more than me. I would only say that's just how a lot of waiters are in general.
That's what I thought so too. But as you continue to work with it, you start to understand like the nitpicks of how everybody is. Could you
Okay.
not hit the wire?
Yeah, she's
Could you
really
not
she's,
hit the wire?
she's like needing. She's really trying to go for those cables. I've been watching.
I know, yeah, because she's mad. She's like, how come you're not gonna talk to me now? Oh, kicking the.
She was touching your headphone one for a while. Then she
Exactly,
realized
I know,
that's not
'cause
doing
I hear
nothing.
it popping. No, I'm just bearing with it.
No, that shouldn't do anything.
Oh.
Anyway, so
Yeah. Yeah. That was just my 2 cents. I'm like, it's just one of those things. Like, we have a job, and there's a sense of professionalism behind it. And then the final straw for me was we had one more table to get, and it was the end of the night. We had like 30 minutes left before we closed. So I understood like we shouldn't take the table. We had a big party to begin with, and we're still dealing with the party. It's just I didn't like the way she went.
she sat on the cable.
Yep.
She has everywhere else to sit. Oh, don't pull it! Don't pull it. That's a bad idea.
trying to. She is your big ass. Could you not?
I heard that one. somehow.
Yeah. Sorry. Could you?
It is recording, right? The blue light, the blue bar on the bottom left, bottom right. It's blue.
It says
Is it blue?
there is a blue one.
That's
It
it.
says stop recording.
No.
Yeah.
If it's blue, that's all I need to know.
Yeah, so that's what we need to know. Yeah, but sorry.
Hold on, she's-
I know.
She's stepping on the cable now, the bad one. Just get her on your chair. Put her on your chair.
Then why don't you kick me like you don't want to be here?
There you go. Wait, sorry. So what was the end of your story?
Sorry. Yeah. So at the end of the story, we had one more table. I was kind of done with it. I said, if you want to pass it on, you can pass it on. However, I thought it was gonna be the traditional thing, which is obviously we get like the manager involved, we communicate the reason why, and then they take it from there. She didn't do that. Instead, she just passed it off to every server, and kind of did everything wrong in that book. And so not only did that happen, I couldn't find her, so I already greeted myself with a table. I was trying to get it started because they've been there for over a minute. As you know, we have a certain time limit for everything, and again, I'm all about professionalism. I don't want to skip that time limit. I feel bad if I do.
Me too.
You know. So I agree to do that. I try to get everything going, and then I see another server walk in, and they restart the whole thing, and I'm just staring at them, and clearly you can tell that they're already like confused. The guests are confused. It's their birthday. It's supposed to be something special, and so apparently she convinced someone to take it, and now I'm just sitting here like an idiot. And now again, I'm just staring at them, and they're just staring at me, and they're in my section. And you ever get that feeling when you know people are just staring at you like what are you, an idiot kind of thing?
I think so.
You know, I had that on that table because they just kept staring at me, and every time
The guests or the waiter?
the guests,
Oh.
and every time the server took a minute longer than normal, they just looked at me. They're like, "You couldn't do this faster, or you could probably do this a little better. Why aren't you doing this?" And I feel really bad on their part because even getting them water took a minute longer than normal, and it made me, it built up more anger in me because I could give them more water. I could go over there, but I can't because I can't do anything at that point. I can't even give them water because they got the special water. I can't do anything because I can't even give them bread because the bread is already closing. All I can do is look at them and they look back at me. And it wasn't like my
So wait.
imagination. It was literally I turned and then they were just staring at me.
I
I'm
think I
like,
missed a bit of your story.
No.
Why, if you weren't their waiter, why are they staring at you?
because they were in my section and I already greeted them, telling them that they're gonna have a good night.
Okay.
And then it gets restarted because she gave our table to another server, and I'm just standing here like an idiot. You know, it was just one of those things that this pissed me off as a because I want to give good service.
Yeah.
You and I both believe in that. We still believe in that. Obviously, you've seen servers who just gave up on that and
A long time ago.
yeah, a long time ago, a little faster than a long time ago, actually. So
There's a third day. You know what? I'm making enough money.
yeah.
I don't need to do it.
No, it was in the first
I hate
hour.
that fucking attitude. so
90%
much.
of waiters I know do that.
Oh my god, I can't stand it. That
They want
drives me
volume.
insane.
They want volume. They don't want.
It drives me insane.
I know.
when
It drives me
people do
insane
that.
too.
And I guarantee you, in my experience, after a very busy convention, like for 4 solid days where they're all making a large amount per day, they inevitably call in sick for the next
Yeah.
2 nights, and
So-
that's such bullshit.
I'll tell you a story that Lando told me.
Oh yeah.
There was
Yeah.
a girl who okay, let me see if I remember the story right. She was given a tip at one table or something, and it was like two. Oh no, okay, that's what it was. There was a party that came in. It was a
At his current place,
no, at our place.
long ago.
It was a contracted party, let's say it that way, and they were short staffed. So she was the only one on like a 40-person or 35-person party.
That's a power move right there.
Holy shit.
That just shows how.
She had help. The chefs carried food. The managers cleared tables. She had help. She just didn't have another waiter.
Yeah.
Right. She did great. They liked the experience. It was a great experience for them. She got $2,000
fuck me.
that one night. Called out the next 3 days, 3 or 4 days.
Did she? So the manager gave her the whole gratuity.
Yeah, she was, and then I was like, "Oh, did she give anything else to the?" And she was like, he was like, "No."
Well, what would you do?
I would have, if I got $2,000, I would have parsed out at least $300 to
No.
the chefs that were helping me.
Not even that, which is very nice and unexpected. I'm not so sure that even I would do that. I'm referring to what would you do after that, the shifts after.
Oh,
that.
I'd go in to work where I work,
Yeah.
where I'm
Like-
scheduled to work.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's irrelevant how tired I am. It's irrelevant how much money I made. I always have the mentality of make more money, make more money, make more money, make more money. Take advantage of every shift you're scheduled because you never know when that boat is going to sink.
No one has that mentality.
I would say this,
That's-
the
I'm
only-
saying that's
For example,
me.
I worked 5 days. Was it? No, I worked 9 days. Right. This is my first 9 days as a waiter. I've made all the money I need for April. For what's today? Is this April?
I haven't.
It's
Pissing me
April.
off.
I've made all the money I need for May
For May?
in terms of bills, not for food, but just bills. I made all that money in just the first 9 days, which was my goal as a busser and a waiter, was to make all of my bills in my first check. It almost never. It happens sometimes as a busser, and I was like, oh great. And I do have low bills, relatively.
So you're a month ahead. This
No.
is April 13th. You said you made all your stuff for May.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider it ahead because I've already paid all of April's bills.
Yeah, but if you have
That
everything
would be a
to
month
pay
ahead,
for May
right?
already.
For me, it's not ahead. That's just how that's my schedule. If I was ahead, I'd have it for June.
I guess maybe not ahead is the right word. I think up to date.
I'm up.
You are
yeah.
up to date, and that's it.
'Cause I haven't
You'll
gotten
be
that
up to
money.
date next time too.
Because I haven't got the money yet. So when my paycheck comes, you know what I mean.
So what do you do with the last 2 weeks?
So now that's the question.
That's
right
the
now, it's going
bonus.
to be for films.
Yeah.
That's my point. That's why I want the first check to pay for my bills. That way, I have those 2 extra if there's 3 in a month.
And
to do
and
it.
that's what I've been wanting to. I mean, that's what I've been trying to tell everybody when I started working. It was like once you figure out how budgeting works, you're supposed to come with that reality of like either I'm doing well or I am so falling falling apart with everything. I need to figure out what my next step would be, because that's the one thing that did aggravate me when I became a server was everybody was always trying to fight for money.
Entertainment.
Also, yes,
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of stuff. Yesterday, again, the first time I drank that much in 6 years.
What did you have to drink? But
I only so it's kind of Swiss swapped. Yesterday I
Actually, that's a
had
good point. What did you have to drink?
yesterday. So they told me
Sorry, Brittany.
bring a bottle. I was like,
Oh my gosh, they tried to bring up what bottle?
because I was
did
gonna
you
be
bring?
late, so they asked me to bring a bottle. Because I knew I was gonna be late.
Side question: what bottle did you bring?
Well, the same answer as what did I drink,
Okay.
which is, it's in my trunk. Oh fuck, I forgot it in my trunk. Captain Morgan
Oh,
spiced rum, delicious vanilla.
vanilla.
No, there's added vanilla. It's not a vanilla flavor. It's delicious.
What do you mean added vanilla? What?
It's like a hint. It's not like vanilla flavor.
I mean, that's usually how alcohols are.
Yeah.
It's just a hint. It's not a
Well, no,
full
like
blast, but
fucking.
well, then
peach
again,
schnapps is-
yeah, like vodka, low orange is actually a very
Yeah.
strong orange. Meanwhile, citron is just a nice
Taste.
hint of citron flavor all throughout.
No, yeah, no. It's,
Yeah.
I don't know why. Why are you saying? Oh, it's nice spiced rum. I take a shot and it doesn't. If it sits too long, it sits. But if the taste, I'm like, oh, it's good.
That's crazy. Well, my Captain Morgan to me is what vodka is to every like high schooler or like 20-year-old. Like I had so much of those growing up.
Oh,
Which, by the way, was
I did
not,
not.
maybe not have been the best choice because I did jump the vodka cycle and I ended up drinking
me-
like Captain Morgan. I
give me
ended up
3
drinking
seconds.
gin, and that shit destroyed me. I remember blacking out on Captain. I don't know if you ever had this. I hope you don't mind me asking. I don't know if you remember. Captain Morgan did a Cannonball. Do you remember that Cannonball Spice? It was literally in a like it was just in a round all black container. And I remember something about taking shots with those just never sat right with me. That was my end killer. I want to say I had something before that ended up mixing wrong with me, but that was just the worst experience I ever had in my life. Was drinking that and just sitting there and then just feeling everything hit me.
Mine
Like a
was
semi.
in college. I went to a bar with my friend Kristen, and she was like, "We're just gonna drink Captain."
Sorry, I just hear like shadow clickers. There it is.
At least it wasn't hot outside.
Yeah. Well, actually, Deep Dish was just telling.
That's what I brought to the party.
You want to
That's what I
talk
brought
about
to the
that?
party.
I like how the Coronas are just all
Okay, the Coronas
complete.
weren't touched.
Yeah, they were not touched at all.
And
Never supposed
how
to
much
be.
Captain is left in the bottle? I can't see.
Literally enough for one glass, if not two, if
And
you want to do half
drank
portions.
that whole bottle of Captain?
No. He said he brought the bottle, so if anything,
no, but no one really had any, so I guess so. That's where it ended up.
Fuck, dude.
But some people had a few shots, but
How drunk were you driving home?
no, I didn't drive drunk at all.
Who drove?
oh, did Lady take you?
So here's the thing.
Ah,
And this is not a
Black
joke.
out driving and make it here?
No,
She's like, I made
this
it.
is not a joke. I take drunk driving very seriously. I'm very good at it. No, I'm just kidding.
Very good at it.
I take it very seriously in the
You
sense
should
that
see me. It's like Fast and Furious. I just do it. I win.
I take it very seriously in the fact that I would never do it because
What's
it's
that
an
called?
idiotic
Tokyo
thing,
drifting?
and it doesn't. And it doesn't. What is it? Sake drifting?
It's
And it
funny because
doesn't
your
just-
car could do that, actually. Your car could actually
is a drift
handle
car.
that.
You
Yeah.
are
I'm doing a PSA right now. Stop talking
Sorry.
over me.
You're Captain
You're still talking over me. Take it very seriously because it is not just a danger to yourself; it's a danger to others that you are being an idiot for. So don't drink and drive. Easy. I say that because
Stop doing
is that you touching? Or is that me?
That's you.
Okay. I say that because I take that so seriously, meaning I did not drink. I was not drunk last night when I drove.
Mm-hmm.
And people, people say this. Oh, I'm fine to drive. No. You see my body type. I don't know what it is. This has always been true. As long as I've drank, I cannot stay drunk. It's very difficult for me to stay drunk. If I stop, I tested it again last night because I was worried. I was like, oh man, I'm late 20s now. Is it still going to work this way? Because I hadn't drinking this so long. Works the exact same so far. I'm not 30 yet, so we'll see when I hit 30. But as soon as I stop drinking, I have about an hour and a half, and then I'm totally normal. And I wasn't blacked out. I wasn't falling over. I almost vomited because I drank too much too fast, which I didn't remember as being a thing for me. I was always able to just keep drinking.
Maybe I love you.
No,
That was so gross to
that
hear
is a
that.
genuine story
The lady
for
wasn't there.
everybody.
the lady wasn't there.
So you went by yourself? Damn, he was a whore then.
Was it a restaurant?
No, it was a film reunion.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you finally done with the other one?
There's one more day
Yeah.
because there's weather and stuff.
When is that?
Which, by the way, I think I've already mentioned
TBD.
it, but congratulations on getting that constantly.
Are you gonna
It's not
share the
really
credits?
constant.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing
no,
sounds,
well,
so yeah.
Well, yeah, but any
get paid?
production.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That's what I mean. It's a
Per
paid
day.
gig.
Per diem.
Yeah.
What's
It's a
wrong
paid
with
gig.
that?
Yeah.
Nothing.
That's good.
Yeah.
It buys you. Do you get craft services?
Snacks.
Snacks.
Just like little
adorable.
muffins and stuff.
He gets Lunchables.
Because it's still. I wish there were Lunchables. Damn, you can't just do a
Seriously,
bit.
Stop doing that.
Yeah.
I have to move the mic. So it's still a low budget
Yeah.
film. So there was,
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The fact you got a paid gig is what makes it so special.
I'm not really.
It's not
I
about.
mean, thank you guys, but
Well, I get why you won't care because it's like a thing you should be doing anyways.
yeah.
But like I said, paid gigs for this type of business is always rare because a lot of people I've seen people spend almost a decade just trying to build a portfolio up, and I feel sorry for them. I'm like, you did this whole thing without no money coming your
What
way.
time are we at?
33 minutes. He's not calling in.
Yeah,
Hasn't read the messages yet. I literally sent him 6 messages.
I'm gonna message.
Okay.
I sent one on Instagram.
Ex-girlfriend, can you please stop stalking?
No. I sent him one Instagram, one email, 4 texts on Telegram.
Jesus Christ. And I can't get you to return a text message.
Well, if I need you, you will.
No, I know. I'm so bad at text messages.
Oh, so we're at, okay.
I
was
don't
a
know
joke.
why. I
know.
still. Can I say something on text messaging?
Real quick, because I wasn't quite done with this story.
Oh.
So I had stopped drinking at around 10, and I left around 12:30, I think. And so I was drinking water when I stopped drinking. So it was like I was just totally normal by the time I left.
Oh, okay, never mind.
What time
Okay.
did you get out of work?
Oh, I was the hardest thing I've ever had to do was to get out of work yesterday. I was able to do it.
Oh, you didn't work at all.
Correct.
No.
Party
they-
started at 4, and my shift started at 4. So yeah, I had to get out of work, and no one could work for me. The one person who couldn't because she had a family emergency,
Yeah.
and I didn't know. But the issue is, I didn't know all this until 1 p.m. or 11 a.m. Saturday morning, which I had to
So you
start
called
leaving work
out?
at 2. No, I was able to. I talked to all the managers multiple times. I told one of the managers a week ago. He was
Yeah.
like, "We'll see. You're on the schedule, so we'll see."
Yeah.
And then the numbers just kept growing on Saturday. So I was like,
Well, I'll be honest with you. It's a good thing you missed out on last night.
Yeah, what happened?
Nothing. Well, I think you would have been fine.
What number did we get to? How many covers?
But like 60, I think 70.
God. No, because
Yeah.
usually we lose a lot. So I was banking on losing because then I wouldn't feel bad for.
No,
making other people do more
because
work.
my only fear would have been if you were by yourself, maybe it would have been okay because you're good on your own. But
Oh, how many teams were there? Because no one else is having mixed drinks.
No, Dylan, you're an alcoholic.
all-
You already know.
They were all taking shots and they didn't like them, so they didn't do much. Yeah, so I must have drank at least 90% of what's
Yeah.
gone.
You drank
But that was from like
80% of the bottle.
that was from 5. That was over 5 hours, 5.5 hours. So it's not like.
That's 0.1 left of a bottle.
So I was sitting there. By the time we got the food, it was a cookout. By the time I got the food, I got invited to the cookout with her.
Oh, what kind of food did they have?
Oh, so it's a
Chicken
cookout
and
now.
Chicken macaroni, grilled chicken macaroni, and some stuff. So anyway, so I was
Cookout is
eating
that? What the fuck?
grilled chicken. What do you mean?
What?
Okay.
Grilled
Sorry,
chicken macaroni,
just-
baked
just-
macaroni. There's a bunch of other stuff.
Like
Okay.
macaroni and cheese?
With the
Yeah.
collard greens in there?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay, it's starting to sound good now.
I said other stuff. Anyway, that was the
Oh.
point of the
Was
story.
it corn on the cob?
I know.
No
I
corn.
just want to know
Hot
the
dogs
menu.
though, or like mini hot dog.
Did they have barbecue sauce?
I don't know.
Did they have
I was,
handmade
anyway, the reason I don't know is
ketchup
because
mayo?
I was probably a third or maybe halfway through that bottle, and I was sitting down eating. I was having a conversation, laughing, reminiscing, all that stuff. Oh, and all of a sudden I just feel like, oh, if I move my head too fast, I'm gonna throw up. at this table right now. And because I've been drinking, I looked at the girl next to me. I'm like, I'm not doing okay. And I did whisper that, and she was like, huh? She's like, I can drink water. And I was like, I switched to water like 10 minutes ago. I'm not doing great. If I leave. And at this point, I didn't know where the bathroom was because I didn't know this house. So I was panicking. Because I didn't want to disturb the peace. So I was like, oh, damn, there's a different email. So I was just like, focusing on not, because the worst thing in the world, I hate vomiting so much that I stay sick longer so that I don't have to vomit.
Ugh, pussy. Just do it.
I force myself to
Two
not
fingers
vomit.
in, and that's it.
Yeah, that's the easy way out, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And so I was the girl, I'm almost saying her name anyway, but the girl next to me, she was like, just go get some bread, you'll be fine. I was like, okay, that sounds like a good idea. Like, slowly stood up and walked over to find the bread. It must have been like a placebo because 45 seconds after eating half of a roll, I was perfectly fine. No, it didn't help that I think for the only thing I'd eaten that day was 2 bowls of cereal.
So you
probably
mixed
didn't
that
help.
with milk?
What? In my stomach, I guess, but that was like 4 hours before that. So
I mean, still, your body digests at different rates.
yeah, but what are you talking about? Liquor and milk is normal. Not rum, but what's the
Yeah.
liquor you put in milk?
Vodka.
Yeah, vodka milk is. What is
Yeah,
that called?
Is
Vodka
that a
and milk.
thing?
Yeah. When your body's used to White Russians. I
White
believe.
Russians, that's what it is. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oof.
I prefer Black Russians.
Yeah. Well,
Is that coffee?
no. Kahlua.
Kahlua. Okay.
Yeah, no.
The
it's
only
cool.
difference between a black Russian and a white Russian,
Don't.
no, is
Skip
the
it.
milk. Is
The milk.
the
Thank
Edit,
you.
edit this.
Thank you.
Or it's actually half and half.
Yeah, it's half and half is what they use, I believe.
I
That's
can't
what
say
you're
that.
supposed to use.
I can't
Because
say
I
that.
think heavy cream just makes it
No, heavy
nasty
cream is-
altogether.
Yeah,
Can't
no,
say
heavy cream is like drinking butter.
Yeah.
Oh,
spoiled
you know what I
insurance.
noticed too? What pissed me off? The food runner and I, he was very irate today, which made sense.
He's
'cause-
been
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure things are going. A lot of people are angry right now. I don't
Which
know where it's
food
coming from.
taller one or shorter one.
Taller one.
Yeah,
No. Yeah, the only he. Yeah. Oh well, actually, yeah, you're right. Taller one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
I
about to say
forgot.
he's. I don't know what's wrong. Anyway.
Yeah, no, he's been very irate with a lot of things.
Is it the weather?
Not sure, but everybody's kind of been angry. It's kind of getting to the
Division,
point
what's
that
up?
it's getting to me, and it's
Make it
starting to make me.
Something wrong?
I heard crackling, but neither one of you are touching anything.
Yeah. It's not the headphones, is it?
No. So your volume is turned all the way up, so you'll hear just static in
But I
general.
didn't hear anything except
Okay. It should be
before
fine.
when whatever. Anyway, sorry.
Should we do an audio check?
No,
Yeah.
no.
We're
Okay.
checking it now. That's what the headphones are for. We're doing audio checks all the
Yeah.
time. Because we're all hearing the same feed.
I was going to say it might have been me because I did hear.
I think it was his
I did
lips.
hear it cut out,
I think it was his mouth.
so I'm just gonna check in. Here.
Dude, I can still
Wasn't my
hear it.
Wait, don't do that again. It's my ears, Jason. All right, stop. I can't handle that. Stop. Can't handle it. No. Headphones are off. Ooh, it sounds weird in here. What is the end of your story? Now I'm gonna cut all that out.
That just ended with a high noise.
I'm gonna cut all that out.
No, you're not. This is the best.
You're telling me you want to leave in a podcast, an audio podcast, snorting
ASMR.
and throat sounds.
Sleep to this.
I missed what you said.
Hold on.
ASMR what?
Could you imagine doing like ASMR challenge? Sleep to this. Just fucking make every noise imaginable.
Editing is going to be virtually zero on this podcast because I'm on fire right now.
Fantastic. But you're still on the wide, even though Jason was talking.
No, I just switched to the wide.
I'm looking at his light.
I just switched to the wide.
All right.
But because I went to you for your noises,
I might be an
Go to
alcoholic because I want to
sleep.
drink one of those again.
Go to sleep.
that's
May your text
right
is
now,
not
I might be an
come
alcoholic.
back right. Go to
Yeah.
sleep.
That might be the title of the podcast.
Why don't you drink?
Gosh,
it,
I want to
Carl?
drink that right now.
No, not that one. The rum.
Oh, have a
Yeah, the
drink.
room.
It's 1:16
Yeah, you gotta know
in
we're
the
going.
afternoon. My tummy hurts.
Do you think I give? You're talking to.
Well, it's the
someone
afternoon. You're good.
At 8
Oh, actually, did it?
Yeah,
Wha-
that was not good.
Hold on a second. Was it with you? I think. I just
Listening.
found out that there's an actual time limit when you should be
5 o'clock.
allowed to drink. Yeah, it's 5 o'clock. I didn't know that.
please.
I-
I had gotten drunk 3 times and passed out, and still then it was 5 o'clock.
Yeah, before.
For
yeah,
those who don't
that's-
know, this is
that's
more
not-
lore on Deep Dish. He was hospitalized with how bad he was drinking, and other stuff that we're not going to talk about. Liver.
Okay.
So
Yeah, the lore is deep with this guy.
if he says something with alcohol, I'm going to believe him. I'm usually going to believe him.
Yeah.
5 years. right? Or is it 6 this
5.
5 years?
Congratulations, 5 years.
And I've lost 40 pounds.
Stop. He only gets 5. Pops. Stop.
40 pounds. Let's go.
And I've lost 40 pounds.
There you go.
Don't. Good. You weren't looking at what he was doing there, so you can't tell if he was touching himself or clapping. You'll
Increase
never know.
increase the speed.
No, it's not like that one where he was under the blanket
Yeah.
for an hour.
He was working it. He was working it, man.
Oh, where'd my dog go?
It wasn't, but
Yes, it was. I laughed my ass off. Even rewatching it, I laughed.
how is this guy not going to answer a second week in a row?
I don't know. Just cancer, bro. It's fine. It's fine.
You know what? We should do a whole podcast on how to stalk somebody.
So I really like the names of our podcast, and I'm reading. It's hilarious to me.
I also think
Nat told one story about serving, by the way. What?
Fudge lemonade. You have to, because that's the best story ever.
I still don't know what that means, but that's disturbing.
You never
as hell.
heard that as a kid?
No.
Okay, in my notes it says
As a
fish,
child, I
fish
grew up with
lemonade
parents.
because I typed it in wrong. I'm gonna make that the name is fish lemonade.
I grew up in a normal family that loved me. What?
That's not what. Well, I'm sure you did. It was.
Oh, it's
good.
milk.
It's
It's milk lemonade. Round the corner, fudge is made.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, it's a song.
I'm gonna fix my hair.
It is a song. It's this. Milk, lemonade.
My big ass forehead ain't showing.
Around the corner, fudge is made.
I don't get it.
Stretch with me.
It's because you didn't even look at me.
This guy says, "Stick a finger in the hole, out pops a Tootsie Roll." That's gross.
Ew. What the fuck you guys do as
I'm reading
kids?
a
Why are you
Reddit.
doing this like kids? What the fuck?
No one's doing it. They just read it. They just say it.
Out last night and got fucked up, but he's just passed out in bed.
Speaking of passed out in bed,
I just feel like there's a huge time difference between us. That's why he's not waking up.
I think it's the answer. 3 hours. Maybe I don't even know what he does. He could have a night job. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just said he was good for 9. That's why I made it from 9 to 9:30. Because Jay has to leave. You start getting ready in 40 minutes.
Yep. I know this pisses me off. I gotta get ready soon.
What number are we at?
50.
Fuck. Damn.
Oh, we're not even done yet. We still gotta go anyway. I thought I was about to be like, well.
No. It's been a good.
Although we can do a
good
short
one
episode
all the way
if you
through.
like.
No, just get this done all the way.
At least I don't want to edit it.
Oh,
You're not gonna
never mind.
You're not going to edit.
You haven't edited the other
I
one.
edited every single one for YouTube.
You were playing Mario.
But
I say,
not-
yeah,
You're
no.
not going to have to do anything. I am on fire.
I don't
The
edit for
topics-
camera angles. I edit for
topics-
conversation.
The
Yeah.
topics of conversation are great. There's nothing bad.
That's not true.
You got your little PSA.
It's not true.
I've already
You're not
numbered
drinking.
2.5 things I have to get cut out.
Could you imagine out of spite this video comes out and it's just all his stories?
It
The
would
deep
last
dish
one-
book.
It would last 1 minute.
It would be normal.
He doesn't have very many stories today. You're the one that occupied.
That was a sex
most of
joke,
it.
by the way.
I know, but I felt sorry that was common for you, so I didn't say anything.
Thank you, Jason.
Yes, it's okay. Let me hold your hand. No, I'm just kidding. I was gonna say something on a side note because I know you guys were talking about like kid stories. My life growing up
Oh, wait, sorry.
was
Go ahead, sorry. Go ahead.
my life growing up was like it was good. I had a good childhood and everything, but recently I've been trying to tell stories about my life because people were kind of bringing back the past and stuff, like when they were in high school and stuff, like reminiscing, and I didn't realize how bad the outside perspective is.
Yeah.
I think I
Do
mentioned
you ever
this.
remember when your dad used to beat you so much you'd bleed?
Yeah. No, it was like, you remember when your parents would tell you that, there's just something wrong with you at the age of 6, so you have to live the rest of your life thinking that there's something wrong with you, and how like you're never gonna be normal or never be okay.
Yeah.
And then you go to therapy and they're like, "No, but you're good." And I'm like, "Oh, never mind then." Like that was kind of how the energy was with me, and I was like, "Oh, my bad."
No, you're actually
Because
normal.
on a side note, we were talking about like I guess it was different. Like in high school, I guess they did teach sex ed at
I
one
was
point.
counting. We were 2 side notes deep.
I don't know what that means. I'm scared.
You said side note right before
Oh,
that story,
yeah,
and then you
yeah.
said, for side note. So
Yeah.
we're two in. It's
Hold
Inception.
on, hold on. We gotta get the side note 7 to find out the lore of
Oh,
side note
Jesus.
2. So let's get
now. 7 layers of hell.
like an onion, 7 layers through. No. So they were talking about. So I guess in early generations, sex ed was taught in high school. However, when I was in school, I was actually taught sex ed in middle school,
Me too.
Me too.
and so okay, good.
So that proves the high school thing wrong because
yeah,
past
was-
generation.
all right, yeah, it's fucked up.
Okay. I'm not,
Well, you are.
I'm
You're
not 95.
You know this. Well,
That's fucked
yeah,
up.
you're 93 and a half. Come on.
and a half.
I can't wait to get out of this country. I swear to God.
That's
Jesus.
so funny. I'm not here because of the American problem. I mean, I want to get out because of you guys. You guys are rude.
No, it's just people in general. I'm not a fan of people.
Oh,
So what am I
what?
doing?
You
I'm
going to
going
other
to a
places?
bunch-
Yeah.
no.
Guess how many bitches there are? That was our 4th episode name. Is Europe the Canada of Sweden?
Oh God, that was so fucking funny.
18 views. How many rubbers is too many?
How many? Stop reminiscing about this. This is not a special.
When will this episode end? That one's Tell the Future. Our shortest episode, funny enough. The ADD chicken noodle duck.
I have no idea.
That was on the
one
porch.
is.
You remember the back porch?
Oh yeah. Oh
That was
gosh.
We were already at the back porch, and that was only episode 8.
Yeah.
We've been here a long time.
Oh yeah. No.
Are
We
we
yeah.
doing any other like off-site
We
things?
Now
tried,
that's what I'll
but
call
that was
censorship.
hard.
Yeah, episode 50 is the next one that's planned. I'm gonna rent a whole thing, and it's gonna be totally empty. So there's gonna be you in the audience.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Where's?
I don't know. I'm gonna rent some.
Hold on. What episode is this?
I don't know.
What should be 49?
Well, it can't
We're
be
just
49.
No.
Sitting here-
It's either 40 or 41 or 42.
Okay. Because next week
It might be 40.
it's gonna be
This might be episode 40.
6:30 my time next week.
Hello and welcome to the SYWB. Oh, speaking of which, that's what I meant to bring up.
Hello, you bloody wankers.
No, we'll
Welcome to the SYWB Bitches podcast. Talking to you.
I'm proud of
Please
you.
stop.
You learned.
England.
Please stop.
Better
That's
than
the worst
mine.
accent I've ever
Better than
heard.
mine.
Hey.
Please stop. We have to discuss something after the podcast, which is very serious. And
Better
it might
than mine.
screw up next week.
Yes, Ben is as big as he looks.
It's going to screw up next week.
Wow, his name, Big Ben, really is true.
Now I know
That is
how
the name of the
God
key.
feels. Episode 14.
Oh, that was
What?
Now I know how God feels.
that was fucking hysterical.
Ignore
my other favorite.
ignore the door.
My other favorite one was he's got to show the full turkey.
Wait, hold on. Which one is it? It's June. It's okay to be confused.
It's June. It's okay.
It's a reference to Juneteenth, everybody? Just kidding.
You can't say that anymore.
That's true, actually. I think they're going to remove that as a holiday.
They removed everything else.
What?
Shut up,
It's not gonna
nerd. You're
work
not
on
the alpha.
13? Brr.
Pluto's not a planet. Fuck off. Where the fuck is the Grand Canyon? That was Jason's quote, I think.
That was great.
No, I think that was me.
Immediately tries to take credit.
Cheap doesn't mean I'm going to vomit. And my favorite, the transition to Hitler. No, that's Jason's favorite because he transitioned to Hitler. Small handy jobs outside.
Is that the one I think it is? The
I
Hitler-
stand by the Civil War. The whiteboard episode. Oh, God.
We're not doing that again.
We should.
No,
I have a whiteboard.
I don't care. Why's it got to be white?
And that was it. I forgot you were a neo-Nazi.
Black is more expensive.
Was the last one. You laugh, but that's actually true, Jason.
That's a really good one, actually. I'm proud of that.
You should be. It was really funny.
Okay, so while he's reminiscing about the past for some reason,
It's not that hard to dig up Jimmy Carter. Comma. Penis in hand. That one was never used. I only used it on the Patreon because I couldn't do that.
yeah, no, because wouldn't they get us involved
Yeah.
in a checklist?
Yep. Gay and Desperate was another name we never used.
Oh, yep.
Monster Ass. Could use that one.
Oh, that was such a great one. Monster ass.
There's a rash. What was it?
Yeah.
He had a rash.
Selling too much ass.
Oh, sorry,
No,
really.
from eating monster.
I know. I made it new. I get the second verse.
Here in the monster.
Because you get it if you
to
sold
the-
too
to
much ass,
this
you get a
day-
rash.
till this day, I still have not heard the original song, so I don't know.
You don't know?
What...
Yes, you did. We ended the video with the original song.
Oh, did we? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
What did you say?
If you sold enough ass, you'd get a rash eventually.
Okay.
He had a rash. I'm selling too much.
Into the monster, man.
You know, this summer that's gonna be a goal, is to make the podcast album, and I'm gonna print it on a real record.
It's on you, so just talk.
I love the energy in this place has gotten a lot better. What makes me laugh about it is it's always new ideas that we try to implement it, but it never works out, so it ends up falling apart. So we go back to a similar formation.
You're right. This
But the new
podcast
pad-
starts out on 4 wheels and ends up with like
Exactly.
2.5.
It's like having a shopping cart break in front of you, and now you gotta deal with it. You're like, how the fuck did this happen?
Right.
All right.
Can I go to you now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna go back.
So, the very nice gesture, and he was asking me what my favorite album for a certain band was, and I'll just say it. He was asking what my favorite Nirvana album may have been.
Dude, if you have fucking.
So hold on.
Nevermind-
So hold on.
Do you have Nevermind?
Hold on. It's part of the story.
You have Nevermind.
So I told, and my favorite album that they ever did, well, technically my favorite album is the live acoustic. No, that's not true. My favorite album is In Utero, is their third album. It's my favorite album. So he was walking. He was at Target, and he's. Hold on, now I'm hearing a noise.
Oh shit! I hope it's not me.
Oh, it's him. Oh no, that's you.
You scared the fuck. I hate you. I hate you so much.
Sorry.
Damn it.
I thought it was him.
And you told me you could do that last week. You told me you were gonna fake it.
No, I didn't
I know.
fake it.
I know.
This one wasn't.
Anyway,
I can't see without my glasses.
my favorite album is In Utero from Nirvana. Now, that's not my favorite album. That's my favorite from them. So, as he was walking through Target, he saw the In Utero album, and I was like, you know what? That would be a really good gift for Dylan. That'd be a great gift for his birthday. It's a physical record. It'd be nice. So he got me this. So he got me this one instead.
Okay, hold on.
I put tape on it.
Okay.
I don't want it staring at me in the night.
But this is the deal.
This is a
I'm
disturbing
taking-
fact, actually.
I'm taking issue with this.
Go ahead.
What?
What's the issue?
I have text.
Cut to number 4.
messages. 4.
Yeah, so you're on screen. Go ahead.
It's all black.
No, you can. Silhouette. Go ahead. What were you saying? Cut back to 1 then.
Yeah, I that's my pet peeve about vinyl. Some of them have 2 sleeve openers, and
Not
I'm
the
like,
end of the
why?
story. The funniest part to me, this is a Target exclusive, right? And I think you'll like this, Deep Dish. This is a Target exclusive. What that means, I don't know, because it's just the album. Maybe it's the cover. Maybe it's the cover art right here. That's the difference. I don't know. But the funniest part is they have a list right here of a limited edition 1 LP metallic silver. I don't know what that. The record itself is a silver. That's the special edition. And this is the description they put for the album Nevermind. I'm looking at the camera. The album that revolutionized the music industry plus culture in 1991 and ignited Seattle's music scene on the world. True. Certified diamond by the RIAA, 10 million albums sold in the U.S. True. Includes iconic songs like Smells Like Teen Spirit, Something in the Way, and All Apologies. Did you hear anything wrong there, Deep Dish?
No.
Are you a Nirvana fan?
Yeah.
All Apologies is not on Nevermind. All Apologies is on In Utero.
Well.
And I double checked, it is not on the record.
Okay.
They did not include. They have this thing here, which is not on the album, physically or metaphorically. They didn't add it to this album.
Where was that?
It was in a plastic packaging, just like this. It was in the plastic, so it came with this, and they said All Apologies was on the record. That's why I'm telling the story. That was the craziest thing to me. It was very funny. That's why I kept this. Does no one else find that crazy? That Target just fucked up?
Right.
Because first of all, Target sucks. They removed all black hair products and like sold them off on clearance aisles, and then never re stocked on them. Second record story.
We're
This-
at buck 8.
Is from
Thank you.
Australia, and it's from the 1960s. I don't think the album is from Australia, but I bought this one from Australia on eBay. The reason was because I was trying to find a vocal tone, and there's one really creepy. Go ahead, Jason.
Sorry, my brain.
No, what's up?
No.
These make the podcast sometimes.
No, because you're like, it's not from Australia, but it, I got it from Australia, and my brain was like, I was like, oh man, Australia is crazy. But then in my brain, I realized I'm like, wait, it's Australia because it looks beaten up. I'm like, do you think the postman was trying to deliver it and he got jumped by kangaroos? Because apparently Australia is filled with nightmares of animals.
Well, what about koalas?
That's what my brain was thinking. I was like, can you imagine like a nature, like a sound, like the sounds of Australia, and you just hear like the wind, things going through, and then out of nowhere you hear the cameraman and goes, "Fuck a kangaroo!" And you just hear fist fighting.
I think you'd lose a fist fight from a kangaroo.
Oh yeah, no, they're like built crackheads, bro. They're crazy, man. I don't know how, but I got into like the web of Australia for a little bit, and yeah, their strength is undeniable. Like they're all muscles, and their legs are crazy.
It absolutely is warped.
Um,
The 60s, dude.
yeah,
Extremely warped. Holy shit.
Well, not everything from the 60s is war.
have you? Wait, hold on. Side note: have you ever played it or no? Okay.
This is the reason I got the album.
Will the mic pick it up?
Why did you this song?
So the voice in it, I want to use the voice in a movie. So I wanted to clean, because all the YouTube weren't as clean as. It's called Daisy Bell. It was written in like the 1800s, and then it was performed once. So this song was sung by Hal in 2001: Space Odyssey when he's dying. That's because this is the first ever vocalization from a robot, from a computer. It's the first song that was sung by a robot, by a computer.
Hal sings. I don't remember that.
Yeah, ready for it?
Oh.
Why do you delete notes? You did this one time when we pranked you that we canceled the podcast. You deleted all your notes when we pranked you. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
We pranked you telling us, oh, hey, man, we're not doing the podcast anymore. And then you just, the first thing you did was delete your notes.
I was
It's
like, well,
taking
fuck,
up no
there you
space.
go.
Do you know how much 8 letters? Okay, so 1 bit is 8 letters on your key on your screen.
It's not about that, Dylan.
Then what is it
It's
about? Because what else could it be about?
It was about having stuff that I'm not going to use on there. I just don't like that.
Okay.
You're talking about me actually being in London, though.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about here, like
No,
finding
like you
it,
fly
like
all the
going
way to
next
London.
door and
No.
just standing against their house.
You fly all the way to London, but you're just in front of some wall. It doesn't even look like London. Okay, good. That's what I was going for. Or you're at Big Ben, but you're up against the wall, so you can't see. It's just a wall.
You can't get that close.
Oh, you can't?
No.
What's the building called? That Big Ben is on the corner of.
That is the building. That's the thing.
No, I thought Big Ben was on the corner of like a.
A street? I don't know.
No, I thought it was on like a royalties building that they. Oh, hey man. Can you hear me?
Nope.
Oh.
Yep.
All right,
There
give
it
me-
is.
Hey, Give me just a second to get your audio set up.
I can hear him perfectly.
Yeah, he's really loud though.
That's fine.
No, it's not fine. It hurts my ears. All right. Nice to see you, man. Nice to meet you.
You too.
So I'm Dylan. I was the one you're communicating with.
Yep.
And Jason
And
is
then
over there.
I'm Jason right over here. I'm
Hey,
the
Jason.
co-host.
And then we have our producer. We call him Deep Dish. He's online privacy kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
He's behind the camera. You won't see him. He's never on camera.
Thank you for.
He's that ugly?
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, no.
He can hear you
I
though.
was just about to say
No,
thank
sorry.
you for
I mean-
taking your time to help us.
All right, so we're not gonna take too much of your time, and I think Jason
Thanks.
might actually have to leave soon as well because we're towards the end of our podcast. But again, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, anytime.
We're gonna go ahead and just go into it. Jason, you want to ask your first? So I think he has 2 questions to ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you already got access 1,000 times as it is, but we just want to know. For the first question, we want to ask what was the. I guess what was like the information you got that made you believe that, the Earth was flat? Like, what was the first concrete evidence, I should say, that made you believe in this concept?
Oh, well, I mean, you mean going back way back 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Way back, yeah.
Yeah, so it was really my wife had said, "Do you think the Earth could be flat?" And I said, "No, that's ridiculous." And told her how the planes go around it, it wouldn't work or whatever. And then a couple weeks after that, I saw the AE map for the first time, the flat Earth map. And when I looked at it, it hit me that, oh shoot, planes can go around it. Like a dinner plate, they can go around it.
Mm-hmm.
So then I thought, okay, well, it still doesn't look like it's true because you can't north-south circumnavigate on here. So when I went looking for that, I could only find like really 2 people that claimed to have done it, and they took like 4 years to do it. And so I was a little bit disappointed in that. I thought, well, billions of people have circumnavigated east-west, which makes sense on the flat Earth map. But if only 2 people have gone north-south, so then I started to kind of get this feeling like, man, could this map be right? And that's why so few people have gone north-south, is because it's kind of bullshit. So then I started looking around for people that had done that, and I just happened, this is towards the end of 2014, and then I happened to find a guy named ZQ Pilot, and you can still find him, I think, on Facebook. And he was attempting to break the world record for single-person flight north-south circumnavigation. So it's just like perfect timing. I was like, oh, this is great. I can watch this guy. And he put something on his plane called Spider Tracks that you can track the plane. So it's basically like a little attachment you put on the wing, and then people from home can track it wherever it is. So I said, this is cool. So I watched the guy. He left North Carolina, flew down to like Argentina somewhere, then flew to Chile. And then from Chile, he was supposed to go across the South Pole and end up in New Zealand. And he took off and flew. And when he got to the 90-degree marker, he turned around and came back to Brazil. So everybody was asking that was watching him, hey, what happened? And he said, oh, the weather got so bad at the 90-degree marker around South Pole that I came back. I didn't feel comfortable going the whole way. So then he flew from Brazil to like Easter Island, and then Easter Island to New Zealand, and then New Zealand up to Alaska, around the North Pole, and back home to North Carolina. And then they gave him the record. And that was when I said, I said, that's not circumnavigation. How would you give a guy a record for basic? It's like, we used to run liners in gym when you'd have to run to the end of the gym, touch the line, come back. Well, that's not, you don't then say that that's circumnavigating the gym, or the gym's not a sphere because you just ran and touched the edge and came back.
Yeah, it's not
So-
proof.
Right. So then I just really started to be open to the idea of the Earth being flat. And my wife wanted me to make videos. And I kind of said, well, we looked on YouTube. There was nothing at the time. So I said, no, I don't want to be the face of, coming out and saying this. But then I kept checking every once in a while. And then in February 2015, I found Mark Sargent's clues on on YouTube. And so I watched the first 4 of those and called my wife up, and we watched them both. And from that moment on, we kind of felt like flat earthers because that video just kind of repeated a lot that we thought. So then came the next, I started making videos because I saw how Mark Sargent made them, and I thought it was pretty easy. He was just like using his voice and then putting images up. I was like, I could do that. So I started to do that. And then when you start I started getting emails from people saying to keep going, that they felt the same way. I even got messages from like famous people who, would call me and basically say, hey, a lot of us have thought this, to keep going. So they kind of push you in that direction. And then from there, it was a series of basically what I would call confirmation bias, or
I was about to ask that.
yeah, because what happens is you So, for instance, one of the guys who did the north-south circumnavigation, his name was Sir Ranulph Fiennes or Fiennes. He's they call him the world's greatest explorer, but he's friends of the Queen. He's cousins of the Queen. His best friend is Prince Charles. So when I started looking into him, and this is what you'll do, is you want to find something bad about him so you can discount the whole thing, right? So I keep looking, I keep looking. Sure enough, I find a court case that he was in that a lady sued him because he was faking accidents on expeditions. And he won the court case because she was trying to sue him, saying that she was injured during one of these accidents that he told her to fake. But the court decided, well, no, because you knew you were faking him, so you can't, now hold him responsible for that.
Yeah.
So anyway, but he stood in court and admitted to faking experiments. So as soon as that happens, what I'm able to do is just dismiss his other work, right? So I say, nope, this guy stood in court and admitted to faking accidents. Therefore, I don't have to look at anything he's done. So I'm just able to discount his circumnavigation. Now, looking back, that's probably not the smartest move, right? Because just because he faked accidents on this expedition, that doesn't necessarily mean that he didn't take this other expedition. So at this point, I would probably assume that he did. But again, that's what you do is you kind of go through this process of, whether it's your brain doing it or whatever, if you have a thing you want to be true, then for some reason, the research that you do tends to lead you in that direction.
Yeah, it's well known that humans are really good at pattern recognition. So when you find a pattern, you just go with it.
Yeah.
Before we go much further, so the main question that I was going to get for, which the overarching before all the specific questions is, would you consider yourself still a flat earther after the final experiment?
No.
Perfect. So
not at all.
I hadn't seen. So I basically only know you through people like Simon Dan and Creaky Blinder.
Okay.
Where I've watched your videos through their veils, and they always give you pretty much good credit. At least the last 2 or 3 years, ever since that Netflix documentary that you were kind of a big part of.
Right.
That one was called Beyond the Curve. Was that?
Behind the Curve. Yeah.
Behind the Curve. Ever since then, they've kind of given you more and more credit to your experiments and because you seemed like the one who was actually trying to think and actually trying to figure it out versus just going along with everything.
Yeah, the movie was unfortunate because they kind of just misrepresented my experiment there. And,
I figured so. I figured the editing had something to do with it.
Yeah, and then that what sucks about that is that's even more reason why I stayed a flat earther that I longer than I should have.
It confirms your bias of they're trying to suppress me.
You're like, oh, you guys have to fake the experiments. The only way that you can show the curvature of the Earth is to lie about my experiment. So no, so I announced when I got back from the trip that I was no longer a flat earther. The very first stream I did.
Fantastic.
And then, but now I'm going full on. I mean, as far as I've already said that I think the Earth is spinning, and I think that there's a sphere and those kind of things. So later.
And while you mentioned Antarctica, we can get into one of my more specific questions, which was on that 24th hour of the sun when you first saw. What was the feeling? Were you confused or were you relieved based off of
it was good to know. It was good to know. I think that it was, sucks because if you had two ideas of, going down there, it was like, okay, it could be this or it could be that. Obviously I wanted the Earth to be flat. Obviously I wanted to be correct for 10 years and not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, I also was open to the fact that we could be wrong. So it was just a matter of accepting the evidence for whatever it ended up being. And then I also kind of felt in my head, I was like, well, there's no way it'll be perfect. There's no way it'll be exactly what the globe calls for. So there'll be something there that we can pick out, that we can chew on, that we can bring up. But there really wasn't. I don't remember anything that was off of the globe prediction at all, from the, angles of the sun and then figuring out for myself where the South Pole was and able to figure out, oh man, I'd be able to get to the South Pole here without a compass or GPS, which is pretty crazy. And so just a lot of things like that started to come in. When you saw the South Celestial Pole, you're like, okay, well, that's just the opposite of the North. I've seen the Polaris and the way the stars go around it millions of times, but to see the South, it's the same thing. It's just a flipped version and an inverted version. So everything conformed exactly to what the globe model called for. So there was no more question, really.
It was it just clicked and confirmed it. Okay. Well.
Yeah, it just kind of all fell into place. And if that's true, then I knew that the flat Earth couldn't be. And I thought that people would recognize that, but obviously they are going to hold on to flat Earth no matter what. So
yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that is a good question.
Everyone has a belief system that they want to be a part of and will stay there for as long as they can.
Right.
I did have a side question, if you don't mind asking. When you discovered that, when it was like, okay, so I guess the Earth is in fact, a sphere. What was the moment? Like, did you have to do any explanation to the crew, or did you just sit there? Like, what was the physical manifestation? Like, did you just accept it and go, well, that's it. Let's pack it up and let's get going. Or
You're wrong, and you just got to admit it when you are. And then over the course of the next 2 or 3 days there, just thinking a lot about it. And then I remember the first time I really said that it was a sphere. We were flying back from Antarctica to Punta Arenas, and we were getting off the plane, and I told Duffy, the pastor that had paid for me, that the Earth was a sphere, and he was like kind of shocked, and I was like, oh, and then so from there I got back, and it began with me telling my audience that I was no longer a flat earther.
Okay.
And that everything seemed to match the sphere, but I didn't say the first show back that I was a believer in that. But then just seeing the way that the whole community broke down, accusing us of faking it, accusing it of being in a studio, then everything else that came with it, faking our breath.
Yeah.
There was no breath. There's no feet putting,
I've
just
seen all
everything.
those
And
videos.
when you went there and you were there, it just shows you how ridiculous the flat Earth community was. And then you start thinking about, well, no wonder why all these Globers think so lowly of everybody. It's because I started to see them the same way. People I thought were decent researchers who were just making off the wall, nonsensical claims. So it was very easy for me to say, okay, well, I don't want to be a part of that at all. And then the other group of people, some were saying it was fake. Some were saying that it didn't matter. So what there wasn't any of is there wasn't anybody saying it does matter and we need to work on it.
Yeah.
And that's when you realize it's time to go.
And one question Deep Dish had. His question was, what is the reaction from the other flat earthers? Like you were kind of getting into there.
Yeah, they've just
after you
lost their
leaving.
minds. Yeah, attack me. It's kind of like a gang, right? So if if somebody's going to leave a gang, they get jumped.
Yeah.
And the reason
Yeah.
for that is that other members of the gang then don't feel at ease of just leaving. They don't want to get jumped, so they're like, no, I got to stay in. So it's the same kind of thing. So they had to attack me as best as they could, because what they have to do is prevent other people from,
Believing
escaping
you.
or saying, oh wait, Jeran does have a point. Oh, so they went on an effort to like block me and unsub me, and then even much worse than that. So they've just continued to be kind of deplorable human beings. And I guess it should be expected.
Mhm.
I mean, it is kind of expected.
Would it be fair to say, because the way I've been describing it is that the flat Earth is a cult? Would it be fair to say that you are an ex-cult member now?
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty fair, because it didn't feel like that when I was in it, and I didn't feel like I was protecting or promoting or even a part of a cult. It didn't feel like that until this happened. And actually, I want to say it happened about 6 months before that, because even when I started saying, well, if the
I
sun
remember
does
that.
this, like if the sun goes around us, then clearly the AE map is falsified, and people flipped out.
You were
and
even
said-
starting to question the idea of, well, this is an option, and they were like, no, it's not, and you're a liar for saying it. It was
Right.
insane. I remember.
Yeah,
catching
they
it.
all say too, they're like, we all know it's not a sphere, or we know it's flat. And so I thought it was in a scientific endeavor, or at least something that was meant to be shown scientifically. So when you start saying things like that, or they started adding things like, we don't have a map, we don't have a model, we don't make claims.
It's
So I'm like, well, then you
scientific.
don't do science.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's the main thing, is that you're a fan of
things.
science, and I appreciate that. I think I could tell that even when you were a flat earther.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of science in the way that
Kind of experiment.
if it's repeatable, a test, we test things and we move forward with what best fits reality.
So you believe
I
the
mean,
total
that's what it
model
should be.
now with gravity and everything?
Well, yeah, I mean, if
Okay.
the Earth is a sphere, then gravity makes sense, right?
Got it.
So as a flat earther, when you're thinking, okay, well, I think that the Earth is flat, so not everything's pulled into spheres or whatever, then you can kind of find new ideas for gravity. But as soon as you accept a sphere, then orbits and gravity kind of come with it.
Still good right now. Did you want me to ask?
Yeah. Did you have one more question?
No, I just wanted to add on. Like, so once you started working out, I know you got the major backlash. Would you say that was the worst backlash you experienced
Oh
as
yeah.
a
His
flat
question
earther,
was,
or
I remember. What is the worst? To summarize it, what was the worst experience you had? What was the worst backlash you had as a flat earther?
yeah, whether it was defending it or going against it at that point?
No, I mean, definitely since I've left, these people have been terrible. So there's, Dave Weiss, who was basically a friend for 10 years, who even I was showing yesterday on my show that he said before we left, hey, there's a 0.0% chance that Jeran would be compromised or that he would lie.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I got back and I said something differently than he wanted to hear, he just blocked me everywhere. And now he goes around telling people that I'm compromised and I'm lying. So
Dave Weiss he was also one of the famous ones that said, there's no such thing as a 24-hour sun. If 24-hour sun exists in Antarctica, then the flat Earth is not real. So he said that, and then he backed up immediately when they went down there. Yeah.
flopped.
They found a clip.
So that's not impressive to me. I like people. I don't mind if people make crazy claims, but when they get shown to be incorrect, you have to step back. You can't just keep pushing things that have been debunked. So
Only if you,
Right.
if you're a scientific mind, you can't. If you're not, then you
Right.
can do it. Obviously.
Yeah.
Right, and I don't mind if people have a religious belief in flat Earth. Just stay out of the scientific discussion. You can go
It's
believe
kind
in
of
the
the
flat
same
Earth,
thing as
and
having freedom of religion in that case.
right, and I
Yeah.
believe in that. I think anybody can believe what they want as long as you're not hurting other people or hurting children or whatever. So if you want to believe that the Earth is flat for a religious reason, that's fine. But then what you can't do is go and yell and scream at globe Earthers like you do,
Yeah.
or think that you should be involved in the conversation or a debate, because a debate is the making of claims and backing it with evidence. So if you don't make claims and you don't make, so my analogy that I keep using is it's like there's a PBA bowling team that's just throwing strikes and spares and bowling 230s and 240s, and they put next to them a bunch of snot-nosed little kids, and they want bumpers. And then when they're bowling with bumpers, they're getting 2s and 3s, but they're making fun of the PBA bowlers. And the bowlers are like, "What are you doing? Like, why would you?" And the kids are just yelling and screaming, "We don't score things that way. We do things our own way. We
Change the
don't count
rules.
gutters. Yeah, we
Yeah.
just changed the rules."
That's the name of the
So,
podcast.
and then you even
is-
have some bowlers on their team that are like, "We don't throw balls. We don't have lanes, but we're better than you." So, of course, I mean, that they would get kicked out of the bowling alley because they're just being
Children.
obnoxious and rude.
Yeah.
So that's what basically flat earthers have become. And it's mostly because they, and I noticed this for sure. You stop watching any of the debunker stuff. So you don't watch a Simon Dan, you don't watch an MC Toon, you would never watch a Creaky Blinder, because they're just making fun of you the whole time, right?
Yeah.
So you dismiss
Mhm.
that side of the argument. Then all you watch is people that are flat earthers. So it's building you, and then they all are lying every day, just saying the same thing over and over again, especially now. And so the people almost are indoctrinated into a flat earth belief, thinking that it's the truth, thinking that it's been proven, thinking that there's no, so they all repeat the same things. You can hear them say like, well, no curvature's ever been measured. Well, no, it has been.
Yeah.
You just are not accepting it.
I think that might be
So,
the
I
name
mean,
of the podcast is Flat Earthers Bowl with Bumpers.
There you go.
Not to, again, take too much time, but one of our last questions is mine. And so I don't know, obviously I don't know any of your personal beliefs or anything, but I was wondering, did this change from flat Earth to round Earth, has that affected any of your other beliefs in life?
Well, I mean, it's made me reevaluate a lot of things, and I would, some of my previously held beliefs, I think I would not hold to those right yet unless I looked into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And just
Mhm.
understanding now the cognitive issues that were involved, and how I realize that if you're looking for something, you can find it. So, whatever
Yes.
you want to believe, especially on the internet, right? You can search enough that you find it. And if you disregard anything going against you, so I might read, 5, 6, 7 articles, and you kind of dismiss automatically anything that's going against you. And then you find that one little line or that one little sentence or that one phrase or paragraph that matches what you're looking for. And then that's what you focus on, right? So then you go and you put that on your channel and you talk about it. So it's very easy to, now anybody watching me wouldn't know that, right? They would just see me bring up this one paragraph and it matches what Jeran believes. Great. But they don't go through the 7 or 8 articles that I went through that, denounce what I was saying. So
Yeah.
it's just it's definitely a human psychology kind of issue. So I'm just trying to do my part of telling my audience, or at least I'm kind of, flat earthers don't really watch anymore, but the ones that still do, just really showing them that we can tell without authority, without NASA, without government, the shape of the earth ourselves. And I no longer even think it's possible that you could lie to the world about where they live unless everybody was blind.
Yeah.
Because if everybody has eyes, then they can make observations, and there's no way the observations can match unless you're mapped where you actually live.
So is a fair summary to say, at least for your experience, the biggest issue that caused you to go into flat Earth was a confirmation bias system that you built around yourself?
Yeah, I guess, I mean, yes. The other thing is that, and this is something we're just noticing now, I've been doing these interviews on my channel called the WWF, which WWF stands for We Were Flat. We've just done done 2 so far. Yeah, we've done 2 so far, and I've also talked to some people on the side, and we're finding out that everybody had something happen in their life when they got into flat Earth. So it's something I don't think anybody's explored, but it looks like some major event happens. Either you lose a parent, you break up with your wife, you lose some friends, whatever it was. There's something like that then you were looking on the internet, and whether we realized it or not, you were looking for something. You were looking for some
Escape.
group, some escape, some friends, something new,
Mhm.
and so it was very inviting.
It might be.
Right.
The way I see it is,
Maybe.
like some religious people, it's called a shaking of foundation. Essentially, is like, even if anything's debunked or there is a credit towards something that you strongly believe in, it's more like their subconscious would double down on it out of
Yeah.
fear of not knowing that it's not real, but on knowing that they could be wrong on it. So it's more like a personal feeling.
And we've talked about that on this
than
podcast
anything
before,
else.
where
Mhm.
it's like the worst thing in the last 10, 15 years, and it might actually contribute a lot to Flat Earth, which I didn't think about, is the worst thing that people have shown is that you could be wrong online. So like cancel culture and that is like, if you're wrong, you get canceled. And it's like the worst thing the last 10 years where now people go against it so much because it doesn't matter what they do. Anything they do, they get canceled for.
Yeah, it's more like on pride on trying to feel like they're in the right, even
Yeah.
though, I mean, everybody knows we're all different to begin with. You could be growing up in the same foundation, you could be following the same rules and regulations, but at the end of the day, we're still two different people. You know?
Which is the way the world is great. I mean, if we all
Yeah.
believe the same thing, what a boring world it would
What a
be.
boring-
But
Oh yeah,
people haven't figured out how to, and maybe it was more of it like in the 80s and 90s, but certainly today people feel like if you don't believe the exact same thing about every single thing, then you're like some enemy, which is a problem because
Yeah.
you're never going to believe exactly the same thing. And that's how you learn. So, all I want from people is just give me your honest opinion and then let me dictate whether or not I want to believe it. Right.
And I don't know
So-
your politics in this. We make jokes on this podcast. It is a comedy podcast. I don't know if I mentioned that to you. Not to offend, but we make jokes about what event in the last, what was it, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, that may have caused more divide in what people believe and not. But
yeah, I know. I was gonna bring it up, like the blue dress and gold dress. If they ever came back, they'd be surely a lot worse now. Than anything.
and people would kill each other with a blue dress.
The people would dox each other. In
What
order
year
to
was that?
find
Was that
out.
2013?
That was 2012, I think.
2012, something like that.
2013.
All right. Well,
I remember that was a weird thing though. It was weird.
Yeah,
Saw it
yeah,
different.
that was weird. What did you see, Jaron?
I
We're
saw
started again.
blue dress.
Yes, fantastic. You got the right answer. It was a blue dress. There was no other answer.
Well, you know.
You go a little more.
Right.
Oh, one thing about going up more is what I was going to say earlier that I forgot to put a note in was you mentioned, or I was thinking of the idea, like you always hear people say to get even further than just like book education is you have to travel, you have to experience things. Do you find that is a big reason why you went to Antarctica was because?
In fact, everybody who's kind of come out of Flat Earth all has an observation story. One guy I talked to yesterday flew above the North Pole and then flew Sydney to Santiago,
Mhm.
and track the direction of the plane and just said it's impossible on a flat Earth. The other guy, Melodome, has been observing the sun for about 10 months and watching the sunspots, and he kind of started to make predictions, and they are in line with the heliocentric model. So that's why his prediction or his observations have pulled him from Flat Earth. Me seeing the sun in South America and then seeing obviously the sun go around me for 4 days. There's no explanation for that, and there never will be on a flat map. So I think observations is absolutely huge. And being there, if you ever get a chance to either go to some observatory or go and check out these things, it would greatly help rather than just sitting at home in your mom's basement and jerking off or something.
I think I said on this podcast that I would have faked being a flat earther if I knew I would have gone to Antarctica for free.
Oh, yeah.
Beachside condos in Hawaii either. So
I don't believe in
Yeah.
space. Send me there. There's a common theme on our podcast of me telling stories of where I've gotten shocked at work because we work in restaurants and when we're flipping the tables and stuff, we have tablecloths. It was so dry in Antarctica because it's a desert. Did you get like really bad shocks down there? Ever? Or is that just not a thing? There's not enough metal around.
No, good call. I mean, no, I didn't notice that. Just very dry. There's no humidity, so that you don't see your breath
You don't
most
see your
times.
breath, yeah.
And it's just crazy because it looks like it's snow, but that's not even snow, right? That's just ice,
Yeah.
and it never melts because it never gets above 32.
Yeah.
No, I would just say the only weird thing was you could see further. It seemed like, or very crisp,
Really clear
I guess.
atmosphere.
Yeah, just really clear, and that was about it. I mean, you can tell why the heat doesn't stay there is because a lot of people wonder, well, if the sun just stays there 24 hours a day, why wouldn't it get hot enough to melt? But it's again thin atmosphere because you're up higher,
Yeah.
so there's a lot less air and that's what heat, right? Heat usually heats the air,
Yeah.
and then it's also white, the ice, so it's reflective. So there's just a lot of combination of atmospheric effects that cause it to be as it is. But I didn't notice being shocked, but I don't know, really didn't touch a lot of things that I would expect to shock
Yeah, I would
me
think
there,
because
so.
as I was asking the question, I thought you may be wearing gloves a lot. There was one story where, because we live in Georgia, we don't say exactly where, of course, but everyone knows we live in Atlanta. And it's not that, it's humid in Georgia. It's not that
Yeah.
dry at all. But yet, on the colder days, it will get that way. And one day, I was pouring out someone's coffee, and the coffee touched my finger, and the coffee touched the metal thing I was tossing it into, and I got shocked through the coffee. It was the weirdest thing. That might not be exactly the facts, but I'm fairly sure that's how it happened. I was tased by some coffee.
Tased.
It was a bad shock too. You ever get those purple shocks, Jason? When it gets purple, it gets real bad.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
the only one.
Yeah.
I ended up wearing 2 rubber gloves to avoid it, and sometimes I get shocked through my pants sometimes to my keys.
Really?
Yeah, I know. That's a you thing, bro.
I must be. I don't know what it is. It's anyway.
You're Bionic Man or something.
Something. Maybe I'm a robot. You ever watch Ex Machina? I gotta cut my
I
wrist.
know, like
open.
you get a paper cut and there's like mechanical wires coming out, and they're like, oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, you guys
All
ever
right.
have wires come out of your hands when you cut yourself?
That's a new theory. That's the next theory. Instead of we're all lizards, we're all robots. What is it?
Oh, I forgot about that
Lizard
lizard
theory.
thing. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Is your flat earth, or was there any other huge conspiracies you believe in, like government's all lizards or something like that?
Nope, not big ones. I mean, I don't think they handled COVID right, things like that. But besides,
Well, that's not even.
Wait,
That's not even really a.
Yeah.
That's just true.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it just like I guess just like flat Earth. If you do a little of research, you find out everything. What happened there? You're like, oh.
Well, thanks
Yeah.
so much for coming on.
Thanks,
it's
guys.
great.
Appreciate having
You
me.
are our. We've had guests from our restaurant before, but you're our first out of restaurant guest. Oh, have you ever worked in a restaurant before?
I did. I worked for.
Oh,
I don't know if you
hey.
ever heard of the restaurant Chevy's.
No.
That was
Deep Dish
it was
has.
a Mexican restaurant here in California. I think they're out of business now. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But
So
that
our
was a
rule
good
is
restaurant.
you have to have worked in a restaurant to be a guest. And we're
Oh, good.
The funny thing is, like, if we ever get like a higher level celebrity, we'd ask them first thing, have you ever been on worked at a restaurant before? They say no. I was like, all right, well, we'll see you next time.
Good one.
Yeah, no,
Sorry, Brad
I'm waiting
Pitt,
for that.
you're done.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brad.
Yeah, you don't qualify for this.
You're not qualified.
Okay.
You're not qualified for this podcast.
Nope. There we go.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, that's the last thing. We'll let you go now. Jason
right,
has to get
guys.
to work. Thank you so much
Have
for
a
showing
good
up. See you, man.
Take
Later.
care.
That was awesome. Dude, we could do a whole podcast with this guy. That was
We pretty much just did.
Over here and there.
I was fascinated.
Great, me too.
I totally didn't even pay attention to my
Cutting?
job.
Yeah, I know. All right, well, that's probably going to be half of that is going to be in Patreon. So thank you for watching this on Patreon. The full interview is on Patreon is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, because that was a long, and then we already have a long
Well,
episode.
this is 2 hours.
Son of a bitch! Another 2 hours.
10 minutes.